Hello beautiful beings, my name is Nick and welcome back to my channel. The purpose of this channel is to empower people and to raise their own vibration. In today's video, I talk about fear, how it can be your worst enemy in terms of happiness, progression in your own life, and how it can actually limit your human experience. Okay, so let's start with a quick definition of fear. Fear is an emotion induced by perceived danger or threat, which causes psychological changes and ultimately behavioral changes. Fear does have its purpose sometimes. It's an old survival instinct or mechanism that we already have built inside of us. And it's there to keep us alive, to make us not jump off of a bridge or a tall building, for example. It can arise in many different forms, like fear of getting hurt physically, getting hurt psychologically, or fear of, let's say, an upcoming conflict with somebody else. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of getting sick, fear of dying, and much more. Fear comes and goes in life. It acts a lot like a virus. Sometimes it can take control over your thoughts and actions, and as you drift into the fight or flight response. Human beings are very, very easily manipulated when stuck into a place of fear. And a very good example of that is right now. What's exactly going around right now with that virus going around in the world. And it's absolutely crazy, in my opinion. All the fear mongering, all the fear being pushed at us non-stop by the media. I think it would be very good if you would turn off your TV. You don't want to be affected by all those negative external factors. I mean, you shouldn't necessarily completely ignore what's going on, but at the same time, you don't want it to affect you. And if you're plugged into the media and watch TV every single day, there's absolutely no way around it. You're going to be stuck in fear. It's a very good tool to condition people. Now the question is, what can we do about it? Well, that's not an easy task, not for anybody. Well, we can start by trying to just witness it. Acknowledge that it's there, but try to be a bit more distant of it. You can either let it pass, or you can try to maybe transform it into something else. We can transform our mindset. It's possible. Know your power. The power of the human mind. It's a lot more powerful than we think, and we can transform it to our liking to a certain extent. And I just wanted to throw out there that we are immortal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. Do not let those lower frequencies or lower emotion take a hold of you. Do not let those emotions take complete control over your mind and your soul. And I think the most important is to not let it control your actions. If you just witness it from a slight distance and you don't take any action on it, you witness it and you actually start to process it and evaluate it from a third person perspective, it's going to be a lot easier to manage as well. Meditation does a phenomenal job at this because you're already used to examine your thoughts. It really helps to lower your anxiety and your fear as well, in general, if you have a daily practice. If you are in constant fear, it actually lowers your immune system because it elevates cortisol inside your bloodstream, the stress hormone. The stress hormone reduces your lifespan and actually increases the likelihood that you'll get heart disease or heart problems a little bit later in life. And since, like I said earlier, that it lowers slightly your immune system, well, it actually makes you even more susceptible to get, whatever pathogens or virus or, whatever's going around as well. Fear puts you in a more vulnerable state, a lower or more primal state that will make you think a lot less clearly in the moment, thus making you more susceptible to getting manipulated by other people, or even sometimes emotionally manipulated through anger by some other people. And some people will just do it unconsciously sometimes, just to anger you. Some people just like to push people's buttons just for fun. So you got to be careful about that as well. It's very easy. You get into that state and then you're not yourself anymore, and you can't think rationally. So it's always better to be more in control. Sometimes you might be unconsciously taken over by fear, and you might be looking for some sort of savior, or you're looking for some sense of security, and sometimes some people can take advantage of that. So if you're taken over by fear, you can start asking the question to yourself, what exactly scares me? You can write it down on a sheet of paper or something. And okay, so what exactly is scaring me? Why is it scaring me? And the big question afterwards is, can I do something about it? If you can do something about it, then the answer is pretty easy, right? But if you can't do anything about it, then what's the point in dwelling over in that fear? You can just try to acknowledge it and let it pass. So don't try to, most people, that's what they do very often as well. They unconsciously try to just avoid it. Or just try not to think about it. So if you're trying to not think about it, well, you're thinking about it more. Or sometimes it's going to come back and haunt you non-stop in your head until you actually decide to take action on it. Fear can sometimes derive from childhood trauma, past really negative experiences, or just experiences that you just do not want to live again. So it's almost best to want to tackle it permanently, to nail it down, so to speak, and to solve it permanently. So you want to tackle it to the root. Sometimes it's something that you just cannot avoid. Sometimes it's something that will come back right in your face, and if you would actually solved it a lot earlier, it would have been, already a thing of the past. But it comes back to haunt you. So the sooner, the better. Sometimes as well, fear can be a good thing. Sometimes it can, let's say for example, like fear of not achieving your goals or your dreams, and then being filled with regrets at the end of your life. Well, you don't want that to happen. So in that scenario, it could really help you to motivate you. So sometimes fear is not always a bad thing. So yeah, it can really be a big motivation to push you forward to solve these problems. So see your life as a car that is going in a certain direction towards a certain destination. And that destination is your dreams or your goals in life. Okay, so let's say in this example that you've applied to become a vice chair in a big company, a position that you were dreaming of having for a long time now. And basically you have an interview scheduled for that position. But then all of a sudden, stress, fear hits you and you're not sure if you want to go there, do that interview anymore. You feel overwhelmed and insecure, and then you decide to turn back and actually go home and then dwell on your bad decision afterwards. You realize that you blew it and that you're definitely not going to get hired for that job now that they think that you might not be interested after all because you didn't show up. Because of that incident, you lose confidence overall and you just decide to keep that 9-to-5 job that you already hate. And sometimes some people even would, in that situation, would decide to probably never try again. That's like worst case scenario, but some people, some really bad traumatic experiences or some bad experiences in general will really rip them apart of all their confidence. And then decide to never try it again because you're scared that this situation might happen again. If you let fear consume you, it might become your worst enemy and thus put some brakes on your development. So in resume, do not let fear control you. Or if it ever happens or you realize it, try to relax or try to just not react right away and analyze it. And then pick yourself back up and use that experience to actually improve yourself the next time. Use that life lesson to make you grow into the man or woman that you want to become in your life. The human experience is such a beautiful thing. You do not want fear to rob you of one of the most important things: happiness in your own progress in life. Be courageous, be bold. Do not let fear get a hold of you and just push through, push forward. And guess what? Most of the times, if you actually decide to go through with it and actually dive into the unknown, dive into that fear, by being courageous and actually confronting it, and you'll realize that it's not as scary as you originally thought. And you will be happy that you stepped up your game. You seriously do not want to be living your whole life in fear, or a good part of your life in fear, because that's just going to ruin your experience. It's no way to live. And you do not want to be stuck in those lower frequencies and let it rob you from a meaningful life. In this video you might notice that I might look different from one shot to another shot throughout the video, and that's just because I shot the original, so most of the video 3 months ago, and now I'm kind of filling the gaps to make a more complete video. Okay everybody, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this content. For more content, I will try to make a lot more content from now on to make my channel grow a bit more, trying to spread that message. And do not never let fear control you. Always remember that love always wins. Take care everybody, love you all, peace.